What is up on the chain family? Buckle up because tonight we've got Ripple execs that are dropping analogies that hit like a freight train. I was to say like they hit like a freight train. Freaking it's amazing. I'm just loving
Ooh.
it's happening right now. Now there's a former Solana employee who's over at Ripple pulling back the curtain. Whole lot of people online that are connecting all sorts of dots and they probably shouldn't be connected. You know how that is, all those fanboys out there, but we're going to break it all down. The real deal. Where's XRP heading? How is the industry shifting? And who's full of crap along the way? And you guys probably know who that is.
Lenny, well, I'll just correct you a little bit. It was not a Solana employee, but some guy that ran pretty heavily in the Solana ecosystem, not necessarily an employee per se.
Right, not employee.
Then when we take a look at
correct.
geopolitics, again, does everything go off the rails every single possible day? I mean, everything you look at DC is pretty much alive and well. It got the narrative managers taking another brutal loss, and the timing of everything is, well, why don't we just dive head first into the shallow end for maximum impact, and let's workshop it. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
To On the Chain, Jeff. Welcome to On the Chain.
On the chain.
On the chain, badasses. That's what we're doing.
That people flooding in.
People are
giving
coming
their
in.
Commentary all the way.
They're all coming in.
By the flash crash. Let's get into that later.
Who looks at it? I don't even look at anything. Does anybody look? I don't look.
Silver up, silver down.
Carmichael's in here early. I don't know what to make of that, Jeff.
I don't know. Normally
he's always a little bit late. Maybe because we were a little bit early. I don't know. Maybe he popped by. What's going on, Noah? By the way, happy late Thanksgiving. Well, happy late Thanksgiving. I'm going to be the first one to wish everybody an early Thanksgiving for 2026. What do you think about that? I'm first. Want to say that, Jeff.
I like it.
Silver record highs. Yeah, we got gold breaking. What was it? $4,300.
Breaking. What is gold breaking? I don't even know what gold's at.
It's a 42 something, 4,300.
See, where's gold at?
I don't know what it is, but it's something almost not late. No one's here. If you guys pop in, you don't miss
4,266.
You don't miss the little banter that happens in the very beginning of the show, but there's always a little bit of back and forth banter. But today we're going to jump right into it. Here we go. Reese Merrick. Now, Reese Merrick, it's funny. I start seeing him really making a lot more, I don't know how to say, like a lot more noise online, but he's everywhere. I seem like to see this guy's everywhere now. He's a senior executive officer, managing director of the Middle East and Africa, which they call MIA, and that's for Ripple. All views are his own. So if he says something wrong, don't worry, they're just his views. But he kind of had this interesting analogy that I wanted to run by everybody. And let's just see here. He said back in the 2000s, texting was a cash cow with carriers charging something like 10 to 20 cents per SMS. Sold in bundles of 500 texts for 10 to 20 bucks a month. Do you remember that, Jeff?
I do.
It was like every time you sent the text, it was like that was 20 cents. That was 30 cents. If you bought the bundle, right? And
even before packages of voice, you'd get X amount of voice per month, and then after that it was like 20 cents a minute or something. And you had
really so many minutes before this unlimited thing. You know, the internet was the same thing. It's like when you first got going. You know, I've been lucky. I've had broadband since '97. Almost people can't believe they're like, "This is '97." I didn't think it came out in '97. I'm like, yeah, I've had broadband since '97. Some kind of broadband, some kind. So I always had like really good access.
Earthlink.
Yeah, but if you look globally, SMS revenue peaked at over 100 billion per year. That's right, text messages. And then WhatsApp launched in 2009 as a cheap cross-platform alternative that used your data plan instead of the SMS system. So by 2014, it had 5 million users. By 2018, over 1.5 billion users. Now in excess of 3 billion people use it on a monthly basis. None of them in the US, by the way. Just I might be one of the sole users.
I think the two of us. That's
because we talk to people overseas, but nobody has it. Dude, if you ask anybody, ask any of your friends, people, colleagues, hey, do you guys have WhatsApp? No. WhatsApp went out as fast as it came in. 2009 it came in. It was out of 2011, 12 for whatever the next thing was.
And it's the greatest platform too, because your images, just everything you send is so fast. Just like on Signal too. Try to do it through SMS, and there's always a lag delay trying to send an image. Send it through Signal or WhatsApp. It's like boom, send. There you go.
I prefer
There's no
Signal
follow-up.
way more than I don't know what it is about that dopey interface. I just cannot take that dopey interface. It's horrible. It looks like 2008. It's not changed since
Yeah,
2008.
true,
So the
true.
point here is that people realize that they could send unlimited once they could send unlimited messages, photos, videos, voice notes
Yep,
for free, or just for the cost of whatever the data plan was nominal, especially if you had Wi-Fi access. It was like no big deal,
yep.
which was falling fast. So crypto will do for payments what WhatsApp did for SMS, and Ripple are ready for it. What do you think about that analogy?
I think it's a really good, it's definitely a good analogy. But which payments are we talking about? Are we talking about, um, is Ripple, RLUSD? I get it. XRP, I get it. But is Ripple ready for the payment switchover? Is Ripple
Hmm.
going to be there for all payments? Are they going to be the WhatsApp of payments? Or are they the WhatsApp institutional WhatsApp of payments? Like where are they falling? Are they retail or are they institution driven? And I up until this point, Ripple's been institutional driven, and that's their whole focus point. Are they going to pivot? Are they going to retail? Is RLUSD their play specifically for the retail space? Because I do
No.
see that RLUSD is going to be bigger, but is it retail? I still don't see them being in the retail space. That's my
But I think what he's getting to is the fact that, for institutional, it's still a lot cheaper. Like when you can move everything super fast, end to end,
yeah.
low cost. This is what, he's kind of making the analogy that what WhatsApp was to
Mhm.
texting. Now you
Right.
have like the cost of moving value, money, crypto, whatever it
Mhm.
may be, stable coins. Stable coins have sort of leveled everything up, with Circle and a lot of other folks having their own sort of payment rails for that's going to kind of take the bite out of it. But still, I don't really know what the settlement is on that. I don't know what somebody's going to charge to move stable coins, right? Is it going to be free? I mean, is it going to be, I mean, how are you going to monetize the institutions monetize this? So that remains to be seen. Like, I don't know what that looks like from a background perspective.
Well, I mean, there's definitely a component to that. But if I'm sending money, I don't want to pay it necessarily a fee. I mean, you think about Zelle, right? Zelle right now is free. If you do, if you're moving money off of a platform, off of a Coinbase or an Uphold, and you do it, the slow way, it's no cost. It's when you do it at if you're gonna do it, instant, you can get instant movement. Those platforms are charging a fairly hefty dollar amount to do instant.
Yeah.
So can we have a platform where we're in USD, not necessarily in RLUSD, where we can move that immediate, or are we just gonna say, hey, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna move it in RLUSD? But
Yeah,
I
but you're
do
also
want to get a
comparing
bit
retail
more
though.
thank you.
Ripple is not necessarily focused on
Right.
retail. So
Well,
that's
that's
why
it too.
that's why I
Yeah.
don't think it really works there. I think like when it comes to when moving $1 billion, you're moving $100 million. You're using 10 or 20 million dollars at a time in
Right.
value, whether it's in
Want it to be
crypto,
quick.
stable coin. Yeah, what is the software charge in the back end? I don't really know what that looks like, but I think his analogy is on point. The fact is once people
Yeah.
realize, especially with Ripple being a one-stop shop, they can do almost everything there.
Mhm.
There's a lot of great things that can happen. This is funny because
It's true.
Noah says, I use WhatsApp all the time. Great app to keep in contact with my overseas friends. Exactly. That's why you use it all the time, but you don't use it all the time because your friends in the US use it. Nobody does that I'm aware of. I mean,
Very, very rare.
very rare it was somebody. That's why when I had met in person Hugo, who's the CEO over there at Flare, Hugo Filion, when he asked me, Chip, you got WhatsApp? I go, yeah, I have WhatsApp. He goes, oh, that's unusual. Most Americans say no. When I ask them, I'm like, that's because I have friends overseas and that's how
Right.
I keep in touch with them. So it's like, that's what we use, WhatsApp. Now, some have converted over to Signal,
Seeing more.
which I
Yeah.
feel is a
I'm
better,
seeing I'm seeing
cleaner
more
interface.
people though. Yeah, I'm seeing more people though moving over to WhatsApp. Between WhatsApp and Signal, people are definitely making the migration at this point. I'm
Yeah, I
definitely
just
seeing
don't.
WhatsApp.
I mean, WhatsApp is. I don't trust it as much as I trust Signal. To be honest with you, I trust the founder of
Yeah.
Signal a little bit more. I just think it's a better one. Zelle is only free if your bank's affiliated with Wells Fargo. Is that true?
I don't
I don't know
know.
about that. I know my brother. I was like, I wanted to send my brother something. And he's like, I don't have Zelle. I'm like, dude, how do you not have Zelle? Now, if you're with a smaller, like some credit unions and stuff, don't even have access to. But with your small regional bank, they don't necessarily offer Zelle. So I don't know what size bank you have to be, what the settlement looks like, because it doesn't settle on the spot. It's an IOU. It's going to take 2 to 3 days to settle, but it shows up because you're on this network and everybody's trusting each other. But you know that the settlement doesn't actually happen for a couple of days. At some point, it might happen real time. We've got this real-time crypto task force for the U.S. government and the Federal Reserve and all this stuff, but it doesn't seem like anything's still real time. So Telegram, yeah, Telegram's weird for me, man. Telegram's, you want to talk about spam central? Put Telegram on your phone. If you want to deal with more spammers than you've ever dealt with in any platform, any medium, download Telegram, because that is your
that's the worst
gateway. It's garbage, man. That's the big. I can't crypto up. We got to get you on Signal, my man. Time to get off of that garbage. My God, Telegram is. I've tried a couple times. I'll put it in there and I'll just get spam to spam. I'm like, all right, delete. It's just a horrific, and the interface is debatable whether it's worse than WhatsApp. At least WhatsApp, I understand and know. It's a bad platform, man. Of course, iMessage. Sure, you want to text on your iPhone? That makes sense. Yes, it's true. I use Zelly. It's not Zelly. I used to call it Zelly. Zelle until my credit union stopped. Yeah. Well, it's good. Like a lot of times I'll use to pay like a vendor, or some vendor comes to my house or something, or construction or some kind of, I'm having something done in the house. And I just go like, hey, it was your Zelle. Yeah. Ding, ching, boom. Got it. Yep. I got it. Done. Send me the invoice. Yeah. Done. Super fast. Now I was dealing with somebody and they said like, I don't know, your business doesn't use Zelle. No. Do you use what was the other big one? The one that's owned by PayPal. What's that one called? You guys will get it. But and I said, PayPal. Do you have that one? Or what is it called?
PayPal?
No, it's the one owned by PayPal. It's like pretty big. My kids use it. My kids.
Always, I don't know. I don't know what all these.
I can't think of the name of it. Somebody will tell me in the chat. But anyway, that one, I'm like, do you have that? And they're like, no. I'm like, are you in business? What are you doing? What the hell's wrong with you? I mean, you have to make it easy for people to pay you. That's like the first thing. And where you're sitting, and you want to be able to see the transaction hit when you're talking to the person. The old school was like, oh, write your check and you hope the check's good. Oh, there's a problem with the check. Oh, the check didn't clear. It's end to end. Got it. Yep. I saw the transaction, right? Venmo is what I was thinking about. Thank you. Cash velocity. Couldn't think of it on the tip of my tongue, but Venmo is the same way. It's like you send somebody a Venmo, they get it. It's like that, right? It's instant settlement, and way better than PayPal. But some people some businesses use PayPal, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll make it easy for me to pay you. Do not make it difficult for me to pay you something. And Venmo is easy because what's your Venmo? Click, I scan your QR code. I send you the money. Same with Zelle. Now, if I got to get a credit card out and start inputting that, and it starts getting to be a hassle for me, make it easy for me to pay you. Wells Fargo, I did not know that.
So Zelle is owned by a company called Early Warning Services LLC. Early Warning Services LLC is a joint venture between 7 banks. The 7 banks: Bank of America, Capital One, JP Morgan, PNC, Truist, US Bank, and Wells Fargo. So yes, Wells Fargo is one of the 7 co-owners of the Early Warning Services LLC, which is all part of the Zelle network. It's kind of like the idea behind Swift. Swift is a conglomerate of banks around the world. So Zelle, similar. It's owned by the banks.
And so what I was going to tell you about Luke Judges runs the partnerships over there, and he did a lot of stuff with Solana, but he's not necessarily a Solana employee. But Luke Judges, he is the global partner success lead director at Ripple. Again, his tweets. I don't know if it's not Twitter anymore. It could still be called a tweet.
Yeah, I guess it's an X post or a post, or it's easy for people to call it a tweet because that's what people are used to. It's like Kleenex or tissue.
People used to a lot of stuff, but things changed. People were used to telegraphs at one point, but they changed. People used to the landlines. That changed. He says that most XRP folks probably assume that I hate Solana now that I'm at Ripple. Truth is, a lot of the newer crowd doesn't know that I built 2 startups in the Solana ecosystem, and I ran a validator with less than 30 million staked. living through the ride from $200 all the way up to down to $8, back up, earns real trust. Solana is far from perfect. Validator count is dropping fast right now, but it has pragmatism and speed, and XRP and every other L1 can learn from. No point burying your head in the sand and pretending you're the only chain in town. 100% agree on that.
Yep.
We're already seeing Ethereum Foundation be much more focused in their go-to-market as they have lost some lunch. Absolutely. They've been popped a few here and there. JL comes in and says, we can learn from all. That's fair, but to disagree, but to a degree, he says, XRP's L's primary purpose was always a more naturally in-demand, different lane class, the likes of Solana, ETH, etc., whose primary purpose is general purpose use, programmability that may seem boring. Luke says, well, I think the digital asset XRP has a strong store of value of tendencies. I think if XRPL plans to solve for medium of exchange use cases, it needs more flexibility and extensions of existing primitives. Exchanges in a post-internet world are dynamic with multiple variable factors and data, for example, dates, amounts, conditions, requirements. And JL says, I think for the reasons for long-term demand and what's happening now, yes, features to define further in its lanes while preserving the qualities that quantify it must be considered. On this, I think talks on altering consensus / Sybil incentives are mostly bad and counterintuitive. So the debate goes on.
It's a lot to unpack.
Well, I like the fact that he's coming from a place of here. There's this one here.
Yep. This
was a little thing he put up. He said that XRP's in direct competition with enormously powerful assets and systems, TradeFi crypto as such as Bitcoin, whilst Ethereum could dethrone Bitcoin too. Its purpose exists in a lower asset class. So he gets into it from the highest to lowest rat. He's ranking them in natural human demand. First of all, medium exchange, needed for trade. Store of value, preserves wealth. A unit of account, measures value. Consumable / transformable asset, sustains life, energy, and materials. Capital asset enables production. A yield-bearing asset generates income. A utility asset is access to services. A governance / control asset is decision rights. Collectible asset, aesthetic, psychological value, figure your NFTs, and your derivative assets, which are abstract, least natural demand. This is a really good list. I don't know if he put this together, but this pretty much sums it up right here and makes it easy to understand. I thought it was a really fantastic. It's a good list, right?
On.
And Luke chimed in and said, I think digital asset XRP has the strong store of value tendencies. I think for the XRP to solve more medium exchanges, it needs more flexibility extensions. Yeah, something we already kind of chatted a little bit about. And then finally,
I like that.
This was a good one too. He said, well, how kind of wild how you hype trust in crypto land. Are you sure it sticks? And Luke says, well, I bet a lot of well-intentioned builders in every ecosystem. I believe blockchains will have a profound effect on many industries. The last wave was mobile and cloud. Next wave will be AI and blockchains. We're in a precipitous of the next generation of this technology, and traditional finance is coming on chain at an insane rate. I have more inbound opportunities here than any other company in my career.
That's interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. So it's kind of
exactly what's happening.
What I'm really liking, Jeff, is I'm liking some of these people at Ripple that you don't hear a lot about, whether it's running EMEA, whether it's running somebody over there that's running partnerships. You're starting to hear this sort of sharing, of thought, like thought leadership on subjects. Hey, this is what I think, because they've come from other places. They have a lot to share. And it's not just that narrow, Garlinghouse or Schwartz. I like to hear from other members of the team. So it's really good that they're sharing this kind of stuff.
No, it's important at this point, especially for the ecosystem. Think about that. We didn't hear, like you said, we didn't hear from a lot of them for a long time. Really, we didn't get this kind of dissection from any of them, until recently. Brad Garlinghouse was out there. Schwartz was out there, but not to this level. And it's healthy to see, because we need to see more expansion of the builders in and using the XRPL. And it's right now, there's a handful, some bigger names like Flare. Obviously, we see what's going on with the NFT space with XRP Cafe, but I would like to see even more, and more comparative, more analysis, more understanding, of how important the XRPL is, for the ecosystem, and really the direction that the anticipated direction. I like it how he breaks it down, that we're moving into kind of this era of AI and blockchain, and it's spot on. Now imagine when the two come together, and you really need,
Amazing.
you need the smart contract, you need the trust lines, you need the blockchain that records. Now you plug AI into it, and now think about how you can help program and control the outcome with AI. Take all the middle people out, all the human element that you really don't need in there, because you have the most powerful spreadsheet or accounting, and then you tie AI into it. It's numeric. It just seems so much better. Oh,
Yeah,
look at that.
100%.
Crypto Whelp went in and was able to adjust and change his name. There you go. So everyone can shed their numbers. Crypto Whelp did it, went into his YouTube and test. Boom. Shed the numbers.
Yeah,
No
but
more Crypto Whelp 8841.
but there's no space. That bugs me.
No space. I prefer the space because it was
bugs
kind of
me.
nice.
Yeah. So he says almost everyone in Europe uses WhatsApp. I know. 2008 technology tells you a lot, tells you everything you need to know. I hate it at the moment that Facebook and Meta got in. Well, I think that's when most people exited. They're like, we're out. I mean, I don't know. I like the founder a lot of Signal, and I think he's fought the good fight. I think he's a good dude, and especially when it comes to censorship. So I kind of really trust that. Jeff, there was a video that I saw that I knew he had to play because sometimes when you see people connecting
I'll
dots,
talk about that after. Yeah, go ahead.
they're so insane the way they connect these dots. Like, let's just watch this, and I want to hear from the crew out there. But pretty much everything is in this video, and I'm like, but the kitchen sink maybe. And I'm thinking, as I'm like, I watch this, I'm like, oh, we got to watch this on the chain. But listen to this, Jeff, because I want to hear your comments right after we listen to this.
Here we go.
Here we go.
My wildest XRP find ever. A find that links a 1992 movie to the Federal Reserve.
Okay, so are you with me so far? It links a 19. All right, right out of the game.
I'm already lost.
I didn't even have a breathe. A 1992 movie with the Federal Reserve. Okay. That's like the premise so far. Okay.
All right. I'll
back it up. There we go. Ready? Now just listen. Prepare for this.
My wildest XRP find ever. A find that links a 1992 movie to the Federal Reserve, to Ripple Swell 2025, an even bearable guy. So in this movie, Martin Bishop leads an eclectic mix to hunt down this black box, a device that can crack every bank, every government node, and every encrypted rail on the planet. Quite conveniently, a tool that could literally reboot the entire financial system. The NSA contract Martin's team, claiming that they need the black box for national security reasons. But they quickly realize that the NSA's story doesn't add up, and someone else wants the box for something much bigger. Cosmo, Martin's former partner, reveals his plan to use the black box to take control of global finance, starting with the Federal Reserve's private transfer networks. When the team hack into the Federal Reserve's node, you can clearly see on screen XRP262, but it does not stop there. Later, when Martin's talking with the NSA agents, his partner is standing by the road, and we see a evergreen shipping container pass by under the X on the San Francisco Bay Bridge.
Okay, Jeff. Who in the hell
wait a minute.
even pays attention this closely to a movie? I watched the movie yesterday, dude. I couldn't even tell you what the scenery was. I don't even know what was the writing on any of the trucks or any of the things that happened in the movie.
X.
Look at, you see this? So there's the X because it's a bridge. Okay, but no, it's an X on a bridge. That's right under there.
X on a bridge.
Look at the dude's face. He's super serious, Jeff.
It's the bridge that's connected. It's the interoperability.
And it was at Ripple Swell. Now I also took a video of the display that they had there, so I have a fly around type video. Here we go.
Bridge. Evergreen, does that sound familiar? The same evergreen that was under an X at the Ripple Swell 2025
This is the biggest reach I've ever seen in my life, but okay.
event. The shipping container in the movie passing by just miles away from the Ripple headquarters in San Francisco today. And what does evergreen in gematria come up as? Bearable guy.
We got to put that into gematria and see if it comes up bearable guy. Come on, dude. This is too much. This was just too much.
Unless it's more proof that that we're just part of some simulation, that you just have, it's kind of like a regurgitation of themes in a movie or similar music in a song, and we're just kind of on this recycled information. So there you go. How much can you do and change?
Mark Smithson says spooky stuff. That's why I bought XRP in 92. Good for you, Mark. Fantastic.
Man,
I think I was later to the game. I think I bought it in 93 or 94.
As soon as I watched that movie and I saw the evergreen under the X on the bridge, I was in.
Smoking the P and XRP.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Hackers. I remember that was a decent movie. Yeah, Hackers. That's funny though. You're watching Hackers, you casually notice it says XRP on the screen, and you notice where the map is, and you notice what evergreen, and wow, it's a lot of stuff. Future proves past, right? Absolutely.
There you go. There it connects all the dots somehow.
All
right, Rod is number one with the Yeti, and by the way, the Yeti, the badass Yeti. This is the guy that we're giving away tonight. So it's one of the ass kickers. These are some of my favorite ones. This is from one of the badass Yetis from the White Tribe.
That's an ass kicker if I ever saw one.
That is definitely an ass kicker. If you look at that blade, it's like a pick.
Call an ass kicker for nothing, Jeff.
Man, hell yeah! Look at that kick-ass belt. Just everything about him is kick-ass. That if you guys are lucky,
matches the the spear there on the end of the blade.
Oh,
beautiful.
Yeah, look at that. It's
just a sickle.
They tied it in nice. I like it. It's like a kind of an axe, spear, sickle type of thing.
Cuteness kills.
Cuteness kills. Hell yeah! And that guy, we're giving him away. That's badass Yeti number 980. And since it's coming up on that time, we're gonna get that song fired up for you guys. So I think this is a good song. I like this song today. Took me
fired up, man.
Many renditions of this, different lyrics within it, and different kind of song themes and everything. But we came up with this, and it's pretty kick-ass. This is the Ass Kickers Midnight Rise of the Badass White Tribe. So
beautiful. Rock it out. Full screen.
Here we go.
The cold never scares us. We drink our coffee strong. Badassery in the bloodstream. Frost pumping all night long. The White Tribe marches through the dark. Ass kickers at your side. Legends are born in silence. They're forged on a chain tonight. They ride from frost. The brave don't sleep. Even silence cracks when the mountains weep. Snow jumps back when their boots hit ground. Cold hearts thundering, ass kicker sound. The wind whispers their name. That burning warning flame. Fear breaks, runs wild, but it all ends the same. Yeti. 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 claim yours or be forgotten. On the chain, it's on the chain. Yeti.
Beautiful, man.
There you go.
What was the Gematria that he was talking about? What was the phrase that he mentioned that said it was Gematria?
Gematria. I totally
remember
missed
what it was.
Totally
I
missed.
remember what he said. Like I'm gonna load it. Let me load it up again here. I want to see
Don't
what
see
it
the
was.
boots, only feet.
This is, what was it? I'm trying to think of what this was.
Be my wildest XRP. The shipping container in the headquarters in San Francisco today. And what does Evergreen in Gematria come?
Okay, Evergreen in Gematria. Let's see what that says. Evergreen
In Gematria.
Yeah, it does not equal bearable guy. I can tell you that.
So, oops, I'm typing in the wrong thing.
It's not equal bearable guy, dude.
You sure?
Well, let me show you. I'll put it on screen. This is it right here. So he claimed, hang on, let me remove this first. There, this is it, right? Evergreen.
Evergreen value in Gematria is 927. And what is 927?
Well, there's a couple different things. Results by Jewish Gematria. This is like, there's nothing that looks like a bearable guy up there.
Let me see if it was,
Probably
if it's
like,
translated into Hebrew.
let's
Evergreen.
see, find bear, oh my God, bearable guy is in there, dude. What in the hell?
What?
There it is. There it is.
Oh, there you go.
You add shit in there.
How does that fall into Evergreen, though?
Well, I just pushed Evergreen in there.
But that's all simple Gematria because Evergreen falls below bearable guy. But that's still crazy, though. How did that even? What are you even searching in to get bearable guy?
I don't know. Can you insert shit into this?
I don't know.
I mean, come on. Where's bearable guy showing up in here for? Jesus Christ. What is going on, Jeff?
I'm telling you.
Insane stuff. Evergreen. There it is. Because I searched for bearable guy. Because I was like, let me see if I can find bearable. There it is. Bearable guy. What happens when you click on this? What happens? Bearable guy. How much bearable guy is in Gematria? What's the meaning of bearable guy?
What is bearable guy?
Optimus Prime is in here. What the hell? Hell's Eternal Prison.
Prime. But how
Hell's
does bearable
Eternal
guy end
Prison.
in there?
This is the final battle. Starboy. Man. Hyperpop. Christo. Not crypto. What is all this
English ordinal value is 99. The English full reduction.
I don't know what that means, Jeff.
54. I don't either. I don't know what any of this stuff means. It can be
I don't know.
calculated in multiple Gematria systems. So which Gematria is it? What are we even
I don't know.
looking
I don't know, but it is very strange indeed that it did pop up.
Yes.
I find it strange as hell. Well, it's a fun thing to play anyway. It's fun to goof around with it, but I don't think anybody takes it seriously. Do they? Maybe they do. Do they take it serious?
I don't know. See, I can't tell you.
So this whole thing with Tim Walz is blowing up. This whole thing where Trump called him out for being a retard. He said he's a retard. So here on the morning shows, Meet the Depressed.
Look at this. Hang on a second.
Wait, we're
just
not going
sorry. Sorry, before you get into that, before you get into the full retard, the Gematria. So it says here, no, not in any of the major Gematria systems, English ordinal, full reduction, or the Jewish Gematria. However, the conclusion is the English ordinal, they both equal somehow Evergreen and bearable guys both come to 99.
I don't know how it ends up translating into that. So bizarre, man. Holy cats. I don't know. Yeah, well,
take one more level down.
What is Yeti and Gematria? That's a good question. Type it in there, Jeff.
They have to be the badass Yetis. What does it even mean? What is gematria? We're looking at a number, or what is it valued at?
I don't know. People use this shit all the time, and I have no clue what it means. 31, King James, 93, extreme arrogance, Bush.
The
the beast.
gematria value of badass Yetis is 46 plus 78 equals 124. So it's 124. So that's in the full reduction. Badass is 10, Yetis is 24, so it's 34. The Jewish gematria, it's 792. So the total value is English ordinal 124. The Pythagorean reduction is 34. But then what do you do with this stuff? But here's the
mix up the words.
If you want badassery,
See,
badass Yeti, white tribe, ash Yetis, or anything in the Yeti universe, gematria, just tell me.
Jeff, badass Yetis is not in our gematria database. I'm going to go ahead and add it. What do you think about that? I just added it.
You better, yeah, oh yeah.
Somebody added a bearable guy.
How did you add it?
I just click add.
Oh, well, there you go. Now it's in there.
Montgomery 93. There's just a bunch of garbage. I don't know what any of this means.
Oh my God.
It's just garbage. It's just dumb.
What is geriatric? I don't know what.
Geriatric. Geriatric's a whole different thing. This is gematria.
Crypto Help is talking about his Commodore 64. I got my Commodore 64 back working when I was absent. I got it in 19. Man, that's awesome. I love my Commodore 64.
I never had a Commodore 64.
Great. You never had a Commodore 64?
I had an Apple II.
Oh. You had an Apple II.
It was garbage.
You started with the Apples early on.
I did. I was an Apple guy from way back when. Now I want to punch the guy in the face who runs the company because he can't make a simple speech dictation that works. I was watching the Bills game and I was, voice back and forth, voice typing, whatever. Every single time I had to edit it. You have to talk slow, enunciate every word. Meanwhile, there's a startup called Flow. You install that on your iOS, and you can talk as fast as you want. Like this, it grabs every word, every nuance. I'm like, just buy the company, dude. I wrote it Apple. I'm like, just buy this company and make this Siri, because Siri gets worse with every new update that comes out. The Atari 1600, yeah, baby. That's great. I'll buy some more. Perfect timing.
Is it crashing? What is it at? Like 208?
206. Whatever.
It had crashed before. It was down to 198.
Now, if you bought it at 360, you're going to be upset. But if you bought it at like 17 cents, you don't give two shits. Like somebody over here.
It's down 3%.
So what? Who cares? Anyway, so here's the Tim Walz interview. He was on Meet the Depressed or one of those shows. I forget which.
The people of East African descent have been charged, convicted, and sentenced for stealing more than $1 billion in taxpayer money from government programs during COVID. As you know, Governor, that is more than Minnesota spends each year to run its Department of Corrections. So I want to give you a chance to respond to this. Do you take responsibility for failing to stop this fraud in your state?
What do you think he's going to say, Jeff?
No, of course not.
Of course not, Jeff. That's some responsibility.
Why
would I be responsible? I'm just the governor. I'm just the lowly governor. No, he's thinking with that dopey look on his face. Dude, this guy was one step away from the presidency. If Kamala Ding Dong won, this guy would have been the VP. That's how close we dodged the bullet.
Well, certainly I take responsibility for putting people in jail. Governors don't get to just talk theoretically. We have to solve problems. And I will note,
governors don't get to talk theoretically. We have to solve problems. I'm sorry. That was a yes or no question. It was like, do you take responsibility? Yes or no? Governors have to. Tap on Tim is right.
It's not just Somalis. Minnesota is a generous state. Minnesota is a prosperous state.
Oh, he's defending the Somalis, Jeff. They're almost universally the Somalis that did all the stealing.
Well-run state. We're AAA bond rated, but that attracts criminals. Those people are going to jail. We're doing everything we can, but to demonize an entire community on the actions of a few, it's lazy.
Is it? It's not lazy. It's spot on. That's what I call it. It's lazy, Jeff. He says it's lazy to like the actions of a few. That's what he wants to get this on. This guy is a nut job. So anyway, they asked Trump about it again. Like, hey, Trump, what do you think about this on Air Force One? Here he is.
Post you mentioned Tim Walz, and you called him what many Americans do find an offensive word.
He says so on that in that post. You called him Tim Walz an offensive comment. Many Americans would find offensive comment. This is so classic Trump. Listen to this.
Retarded.
You call him retarded.
Do you stand by that claim of calling Tim Walz retarded?
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with him. Absolutely.
Do you stand by the claim? Yeah, I think there's something wrong with him. This is great.
Sure.
Because you don't think
You
that
have a problem with him? You know what? I think there's something wrong with him. Anybody that would do what he did, anybody that would allow those people into his state and pay billions of dollars out to Somalia. We give billions of dollars to Somalia. It's not even a country because it doesn't function like a country. It's got a name, but it doesn't function like a country. Yeah, there's something wrong with Walz.
There's definitely something wrong with him.
Yeah, he's a fruitcake, man. There's definitely something wrong with him. I like that. He goes, yeah, there's something wrong with the guy. Of course he is. So anyway, well, there was a couple more on this. Let's see. There was this. Let me play this one here first. So here is another part of the interview. Someone had a little bit of fun with it.
Here with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, otherwise known as Tampon Tim. Welcome to the show, Governor.
Good to be with you, Kristen. Thanks for having me.
Okay, Governor, let's get right to it. President Trump called you a retard earlier this week. And I guess my question is, are you a retard, Governor? I mean, to be honest, you do look a little bit retarded, Governor. You kind of act weird all the time. Then you do retard shit like deciding to put tampons on men's bathrooms. You think President Trump might actually have a point here, Governor, that you might actually be a retard?
Well, I actually
We seem to be out of time, Governor. Thank you for joining us. Have a nice day.
You seem to be retarded shit, right?
I wonder who's doing these things, man. They're so funny. Oh my god, they're so spot on too. You're watching it like, oh, this is a real interview.
And they do the lip sync and everything. And, I'm sorry, that's all the time we have. Are you a retard? And then someone did this one, Jeff. He's wearing the hat and everything.
Oh my.
Donald Trump insulting me is a badge of honor for me, but I think we all know as Donald Trump insulting me is a badge of honor for me, but I think we all know as
Wore a helmet so he doesn't hurt anybody, namely himself.
Oh my
Man,
god.
Tim Walz, what a nutter, dude. What a nutter. Well, here's what's interesting about that. So it goes even deeper than this. Like this is a full-blown, Jeff, what they like to call a full-blown scandal. This is not going to end well. And let's just take a look at what some other people are saying here. Let me go ahead and throw this up. Benny Johnson chimed in. He's like, over 400 Minnesota Department of Human Services employees have accused Governor Tim Walz of ignoring widespread Somali community fraud warnings and retaliating against the whistleblowers. Okay, so this is not something he didn't know about.
Down hard. Yeah.
Right? Look at this. So here it is. Here's an official Minnesota Department of Human Services employees. Tim Walz is 100% responsible for massive fraud in Minnesota. We let Tim Walz know of fraud early on, hoping for a partnership in stopping fraud, but no, we got the opposite response. Tim Walz systematically retaliated against whistleblowers using monitoring, threats, repression, and did this to best to discredit fraud reports. Instead of partnership, we got the full weight of retaliation by Tim Walz, certain DFL members, and an indifference to mainstream media. It's scary, isolating, left us wondering who can we turn to. In addition to retaliating against the whistleblower, Tim Walz disempowered the office of the legislative auditor, allowing agencies, Steve's button, allowing agencies to disregard their audit findings and guidance. So, Jeff, this has been going on. They contacted him. They told him about the fraud. They told him about the whistleblowers. He retaliated against the whistleblowers. Then you had the Office of Legislative Auditor that allowed agencies to disregard their audit findings and the guidance. And the media and the politicians that were supporting Tim Walz on the DFL agenda attacked the whistleblowers who are trying to raise red flags in the fraudulent activities. This is a cascade of systematic failures leading up to Tim Walz. Agency leaders appointed by Tim Walz willfully disregarded rules and laws to keep fraud reports quiet, even to the extent of threatening families of whistleblowers. These same leaders are not qualified for their jobs, instead getting leadership jobs via Tim Walz's friendship, so state government were left floundering. DFL lawmakers refused to acknowledge fraud and deflected any serious conversation to stop the fraud. I mean, biased mainstream media such as WCCO and NPR showed absolutely no interest in covering fraud happenings in our own state. Programs, especially in behavioral health and disability services, were built without any guardrails against fraud. And it goes on and on and on. But basically, this is the service that Tim Walz hung out to dry. And it ends with, thank you, New York Times, for bringing the plight of Minnesota to the national stage.
Right.
Who uncovered this? Who's the one that really brought this and talked about it, did an expose on it?
Amazing.
The New York Times, Jeff. What is going on?
Yeah, it's amazing how deep, how in-depth that commentary is right after, you hear Waltz not taking the blame for it, trying to cover it up. And he's definitely, responsible for the implosion of that state, especially along with everything that's been happening with this opening, what he's done to helping, what he's done to instigate, the import of all these Somalis. And are there, good, people within that group? I'm sure there are. But the problem is that you have a vast number of them that are here illegally. And I'm going to stick by the commentary that I'll say it over and over and over again. If you import large groups of people, they're going to stick to their culture. And if you bring them in from kind of a backwards third world country to where they haven't developed and they don't have societal norms that we have here, and you bring them in a large group and you put the large group together, they're never going to assimilate into modern culture, modern civilization, which is the problem,
Jeff,
that you're bringing these people in and their claim, whatever their country is they're from, the first thing they go to is, oh, I didn't know it was bad to rape. I didn't know it was bad to molest. I didn't know I couldn't act that way. In England and some of those other countries, they're letting them get away with it, but here we're done with that. It doesn't.
Yeah, we're done.
Ignorance of the law, doesn't mean that it doesn't apply to you. But to that point, these guys are all guilty of bringing them in here. They should all go down with the ship.
Jim D makes a point saying what is retarded is an argument with a retard, expecting them to answer what you are saying. They're not in a position to understand, apparently, because they're retarded. So this gets so much better, Jeff. So Christopher Rufo put this up. Winning. CBS News has retracted its false and malicious claims about our reporting on the Somali fraud to terrorism pipeline, even admitting that Democrat Governor Tim Walz is open to an investigation. Rufo Rufo's a journalist that works with Hillsdale, a city journal in Manhattan Institute. And he said, thank you, Barry Weiss, if you remember Barry Weiss, she was run out of the New York Times because she objected to some things. And now she was put in charge of CBS News. So she's the editor in chief for CBS News, host of the Honestly pod. And she made a complete turnaround. I mean, she's still,
Still.
So this is what they put out. Rufo took all the credit in his tweet on November 21st. Rufo helped create a political firestorm over critical race theory, blah, 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 blah. Tuesday, Governor Walz indicated he'd be open to federal investigation into whether fraudulently obtained funds ended up in the hands of Al-Shabaab. Of course they did, Jeff.
They know they did.
What are we, stupid? Come on. That's the worst part. It was funding terrorism. It's insane, Jeff.
In a mass number, that whole group of them with intent, purposefully. They're over here terrorizing American citizens and sending and funneling money back over there. It just doesn't work. Got to put an end to it. Get them all together, ship them back to where they came from. They want to come back in through the legal way, bring them in one by one. Let them prove the case, and that the Biden administration claims that they actually vetted all these people. They vetted them. They vetted all the people they brought in from Afghanistan with that, rush as the troops out of Afghanistan.
Sure they did.
Lost troops on the way out. In a lot of look at Afghanistan back to the way it was before, because we tried nation building in a region that doesn't want to be nation built, in a culture and a heavy religious influence that doesn't want to be nation built. They want to be the nation builders or the nation unbuilders. as they go around the world and try and their ultimate perspective of conquest around the world. But here we go. Can they assimilate as Americans? One-on-one.
Brits, I mean, you name it. Irish.
A hard way of going. It's a hard path.
Jeff, Kevin Hassett
doesn't work.
Kevin Hassett's the National Economic Council director.
Oh yeah.
This guy's on happy pills. Now he's on the very, very short list of what I've seen to be the next Fed chair. He's like on like the 1, 2, like he's the guy pegged. This guy's on happy pills. I don't know what this guy's doing, but every time he's on TV, I have to watch him because he's just so excited about it. I don't even know what he's excited about. He's just so excited all the time. Can you imagine this guy as the Fed chair? But anyway, he was on one of the morning shows, Meet the Depressed. Who knows what that damn shows they have. He was on there and he's being interviewed here, and they're trying to get to the gotchas about how the prices are going up, but everything's way more money under this administration. And you know the trail, Jeff. You know the normal narrative. But here he is, and the interview.
Is that we just had the best Black Friday that we've ever seen. And it's not just because people are out there, taking debt on their credit cards. It's because incomes are way up under President Trump. They dropped about $3,000 a person, $6,000 a family under Joe Biden, and it's up $1,500 a person so far this year. And with all that extra money and with the government shut down over so people feel comfortable going back to stores, that we're seeing a really blowout, Thanksgiving and Christmas coming our way. I think all the retailers expect that both online and in-store sales are going to be the highest we've ever seen. And the point is that that's happening even though inflation is way, way down under President Trump. And it was 5-10% under Biden. And
he's just so happy, Jeff.
Right now it's running at about 2.5%. And it's not, it's way lower than wage growth. Right? And so people's incomes are going up by way more than inflation. Yeah. And that's why we're seeing these blowout sales.
He's just so happy. I can't imagine this guy being Fed chair. Well, it looks like we're going to do something great. We're cutting it by 2 points. Yay, 2 points. You know what? I think next we'll cut it by another point. That's what we're going to do. I'm like, could you imagine him? He's just too funny. No, this guy's strong, man. This guy's strong. I wouldn't say put that at all. He's very smart. Smart dude. I mean, I'm making fun of it. Yeah, the Bills did. I wouldn't say they whipped the Steelers. Listen, the Steelers were in this game until 2 minutes into the second half, when 10 seconds in, there was a turnover or a pick six, and then there was another turnover that basically was a run. So it was like 14 points went in like within 40 seconds, and it was over, but it was still a game.
That's big, but 26-7. That's a whooping.
Yeah. Well, it's believe it or not, the Bills were down going into halftime, so Bills were down like 7-3. And they did get some stops. Pittsburgh did come up pretty big on a couple of stops, but that's kind of the way it goes. Wanted to transition over to talking a little bit more about this guy put something out, and I want to pull the specific post up here before we get into that, though. Let me see where. Yeah, this is interesting. These stats are interesting. I've seen a lot of people make the argument for why a Christian societies are better than an Islamic society. This guy brought something that was kind of like a little bit on that, he brought some facts and figures to it and kind of upended it a little bit, but here it is. And then I've got the data here behind it to back it up.
And into my argument for why Christianity makes better societies than Islam, and it's pretty simple. Islamic societies breed an inbred population. Next slide, please. Muslim inbreeding has been occurring at a high rate for about 1,400 years since the early Islamic period, encompassing most of the land still occupied by Islam today. It spread from the 8th to the 15th century, moved into Persia, North Africa, South Asia, where it remains and has created some of the dumbest fucking human beings on planet Earth.
Damn.
The most common type of inbreeding is first cousin marriage. The rates of first cousin marriage in comparison to Christian nations is staggeringly high, even in comparison to regions occupied by Arab Christians. When a nation has both Christians and Muslims, Muslims are often double or higher than Christians. Example, India, Lebanon. Next slide, please. Muslim inbreeding. Oh, sorry about that. Pakistan at 65%. 65%, meaning more likely than not, you're having sex with your cousin, and if you're not, you're the weird one.
Jeez.
Okay? For the low IQ members of MDD, that means these people are more likely than not having sex with their aunts or uncles' children. Whew, Saudi Arabia, 50 to 58%, with an average 76.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it right here. I'm going to pull this down. I'm going to look at these stats here, okay? So he says, so they're not opinions, they're not insults, they're published consanguinity rates paired with average national IQs. I don't even know what that word is, but it means inbreeding.
Can't even pronounce it.
Consanguinity, whatever. Basically means inbreeding. So there you go. So look at Pakistan, 65%, average IQ is 81. Jeff, that's like you've got sixth graders that have higher IQs. Okay. Yeah. Saudi Arabia, 58% inbreeding, IQ 76. The UAE, 54% inbreeding, IQ is 82. Iran, 40% with 80 IQ. Yemen with 45 and a 63 IQ. Qatar with 30% and an 81 IQ. Oman is 79% or 79 IQ with 36%. Syria, 39%, IQ 74. Turkey, 25%, IQ 87. Jordan, 32%. Think about that. Of all the new babies born, 32% are inbreeding. Your cousin, whatever. I mean, it's insane. Like you've grown up, think about your cousin. Like, they're having babies with cousins and they're having a lot of them. Morocco, 26%. This is sad, Jeff. 26%, an IQ of 67. Mauritania is 43% with an IQ of 60. Sudan is 30% with an IQ of 79. Afghanistan, 46% with an IQ of 82. Algeria, 39% with an IQ of 76. And here's the part that makes it more staggering. These first cousin marriages rates aren't even discouraged in many Muslim countries. They're just normalized.
Right.
In some places, considered preferred. In other places, pushed away as to keep wealth in the family. But the biological cause is massive, generational, and marriage. By contrast, Christian majority countries in the West have rates under 1%. And their societies are modern, innovative, and stable. There's no mystery here. There's no conspiracy, just biology and math. And so when you normalize inbreeding, you get generations of damage. When you discourage it, you get functional civilizations. Not hate, not phobia. It's cold reality what cousin marriage norms do to nations over centuries. Wow. Holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's a lot if you think about it. That's an awful lot going on there.
No.
And somebody posted this, and I thought about this. I go like, it seems so out of left field, but I can only imagine what somebody would think of this.
But you forgot to give a comparative, what the average IQ is in the U.S.
Well, did I not show that?
The average IQ in the U.S. is 98.
The average 98.
Yep. Average.
So it's not 67 or 60 or 70 or
no. Then you can have a range like 85 to about 115. So it's interesting that an average or IQ tests are standardized. So the general average score is always 100. The U.S. average of 98 indicates a slight variation when compared to a global average using some data sets. So I think says here, Massachusetts has been ranked as the state with the highest average IQ, and Mississippi with the lowest at 94.2, and Massachusetts at 104. So maybe it's interesting.
MIT is there, Jeff.
Maybe that's why MIT is over there. Exactly.
Maybe that's why. So
here when you show the comparison to what's going on in those parts of the world, obviously there's an issue.
Here is one to show this one. This is this guy goes to a campus up in Michigan and they try to do a gotcha, but listen to this. Trying to talk about the IDF.
It's good. I actually, as an Arab, served in the IDF.
That's really embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
So how many? I forget how many Arabs live in Israel.
2 million.
2 million of them live inside, law-abiding citizens, good people. Great part of society. It just goes to show you, if there aren't 2 million Jews living in any mostly predominantly Arab countries. There aren't 2 million Christians living in 0.00, the ones that are getting killed. But she says that's pretty embarrassing. He says, I'm an Arab and I served in the IDF.
That's really embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. I was a commander of a Jewish soldier. Not only that, I fought for my country and I fought for my community and I fought to protect the Arab community, the 2 million Arab community that lives in Israel. Not only it's not embarrassing, I am absolutely proud of my actions to actually fight terrorists. And also, when I was in the checkpoint...
I'm done with this conversation.
No.
Geez, facts are hitting hard here, Jeff.
Oh, yeah. She gets up and
I was
walks away
fighting for my
immediately.
2 million of my people who live in Israel. You need more of this stuff to get out because people just are so clueless, Jeff.
About it.
No, because I was fine with having a decent conversation with you until I found out you fought in a genocidal army.
I didn't fight in a genocidal.
Yes, you did. They signed bombs to kill children and women.
In fact, by the way, when I asked you if Israel is an apartheid state, you didn't even know what the word apartheid means, and you said immediately land. There's nothing to do with apartheid and land. Apartheid is based on separation, segregation between Arabs and Jews.
Yeah, like in South Africa.
Exactly. Do you think I, as an Arab, becoming a commander over Jewish soldiers and many others like me living under apartheid state, do you think that we are 20% of the population in Israel, the Arabs, but we are 30% of the doctors in Israel, 50% of the pharmacists. We have a Supreme Court judges sent to prison a Jewish prime minister. We have bus drivers, we have sport athletes representing Israel. Arabs actually living in Israel and prospering in Israel.
How about that, Jeff?
People are just clueless. They have no idea because they don't take the time to educate themselves on it. That's all there was.
You know why? Because they only can say this: Zionist, Zionist, Zionist. That's pretty much the only thing they can. That's all they know. That's all they can say. It's like they usually repeat catchphrases. It's so funny. It's like apartheid. She didn't understand that apartheid and it was more about separatism. Like she doesn't even understand these people. They just go in there and all they want to do is talk about the word. Look at this right here. This is this Irish dude that I love. And he's always commenting on these videos, but this is we're going to merge over to the UK here.
There seems to be this theme, doesn't there, in the UK at the moment, where about remigration. Remigration now is the issue that seems to be creeping into the mainstream, i.e., removing people who maybe have been in the country for.
You know why everybody's talking about
remigration?
It's a man called Donald Trump, because Donald Trump made it acceptable to talk about. That's why they're talking about it. Everyone's talking about it.
Or a generation or even two, and especially illegal migrants as well. Anyway, after the really tragic news in Washington from this week when 2 National Guard members were shot, one having died since, the poor 20-year-old woman who has died since, President Trump has taken to Truth Social and all his social media platforms to basically say only reverse migration can fully cure this situation. In a Thanksgiving message, he said that he will permanently pause migration from all third world countries to allow the US system to fully recover and terminate all the millions of Biden illegal admissions, including those signed by Sleepy Joe's also pen. He's also gone a bit further and said that any non-US citizens who are currently receiving benefits, welfare payments in the United States, they will be stopped imminently as well. He says we'll deport any foreign national who is a public charge, security risk, or, this line was interesting, non-compatible with Western civilization. And just it's in stark contrast, isn't it, Patrick, to the United Kingdom, where we welcome anybody and everybody from third world countries.
You're doing away with every single one of Joe Biden's executive orders. And what was the other one as well? He said reverse migration. So he's just going to just going to deport people who are there legally as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, by the way, so he said reverse migration. Only reverse migration can fully cure this situation. And a few hours ago, the Department for Homeland Security, which is basically the US equivalent of the Home Office, they have tweeted, where is it? They said, remigration now. So even they're going hell for leather. And it's this sort of running theme that we've seen from the likes of, I don't know, Rupert Lowe and kind of the other sort of parties who, the guys who were in reform and now not. The remigration now. So the Homeland Security Department have even tweeted, the stakes have never been higher and the goal has never been more clear, remigration now. So this theme of remigration, just getting rid of everybody, legals and illegals, is coming into the mainstream in the US.
It's about time. There are millions of people in Europe, in the US, that shouldn't be in our countries. They hate us. They despise white people. They seek to rewrite our history, change our identity.
we have been around a lot longer than people that look like you have been around.
And they all need to be sent home, and they can do whatever they want back there. Cut off all the welfare. They should be allowed political power. Send them home, and we'll be moving in the right direction again. France should be full of French people. Germany should be full of German people. England should be full of English people. Same with Ireland, should be full of Irish people. I have no interest in seeing these places being multicultural. If I wanted Somalian culture, I'd go live in Somalia.
Not wrong, is he? This guy's brave, man. He speaks out quite a bit. And I watch. His name's Michael something. I actually invited him on the show. He never got my DM, but I invited him to come on the show because I think he's one of these voices out there that is going to get jailed or something. But I saw that somebody posted this, Jeff, Concerned Citizen, which is a great account. It said, just imagine if a white British people suddenly started taking over and governing towns and cities across Pakistan, forcing their beliefs and values on the local indigenous population. You can't imagine it, can you? Hi, I'm Pakistani. Look at this. It's this white dude. I'm Pakistani, and I'm going to be elected to start changing your laws and start instituting, different rules and regulations. I mean, that's how, like, this sounds so crazy. People think, well, why would you want to change Pakistan? That's the point. Why would you want to change any country? Why would you want to go to Germany if it's no longer Germany? Why would you go to France if it's no longer France? Why would you go to Belgium if it's no longer Belgium, right? I mean, what's the point? Like, well, I don't know.
There's that part of it, Chip. The other part is that wherever, especially if you go through the Islamic world, they go through and they purposely erase any identification of previous culture, especially religion. So if you see like what they've done, like, within Gaza, or, if you go through the Middle East, you go into Iraq or many of the countries throughout if there's any identifier of Christianity, they wipe it out. They destroy it.
Yeah.
And then they say, look, this was always Islamic here. It was never Christian here. It was never something before it. And so this is what they do. So as they come here, and it's interesting too, because and I think it was Bridget Gabriel, or it might have been, actually it was somebody else speaking, because she was Muslim, but she was saying she's here in this country, and she was saying that when you go to the Middle East, you don't have groups of people praying in the middle of the streets blocking traffic. So the only reason why they're doing that in Western in Western countries, in the US or throughout Europe, is because it's a dominance. It's all about dominance, and it's all about we're going to push ourselves and be assertive in this area, and we're going to show you that we can do what we want. And so they're manipulating the system. They're taking advantage of our freedom of expression, and they don't do that, in the actual Islamic culture, in the Islamic countries. And so here they are coming over here, and if you track it, over all of those years, they've just conquered one territory after another territory after another territory. And now you see in some of the regions, you have a little bit of an awakening, because if you look at where the UAE is, and if you go to Dubai, if you go to Abu Dhabi, if you go to Saudi Arabia, they're transitioning now. Because if you go before oil, these guys were tribal. Post oil, you have a lot of wealth over there. And that wealth, they knew, would also eventually dry up, and they'd be left with nothing. So if the world goes through a conversion away from oil, those countries have nothing. They have no other resource other than sand and people. So either they're going to dominate, but they knew and they saw in advance, especially if you go to like somewhere like Dubai, but even Saudi Arabia, where they're like, you know what, we have to become more Western, and we have to, look for ways to bring the Western ideas here into their country to an extent. The question is, how much do they believe all of this? Because you have a lot of big business, that's there. You have a lot of money over there. They have vacationing areas over there. They allow alcohol in certain areas, which would be not permissible, for anybody, local there. It's an interesting dynamic that we're seeing in certain countries. But then you take a place like Afghanistan or, even Iran, which is kind of on this verge where can they bring their country back to what it used to be? Can they, release the shackles of these the Sharia and Ayatollah? Can they get to a point where they're free again? And it's such a challenge. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how now we're at a moment in the Middle East where there's a complete upset because we saw Syria fall. Iran got smacked really, really hard. But there's definitely some changes going on from a power hold perspective without Iraq over there. And, it's just going to be, it's an interesting dynamic. I want to see where we're in it.
And Jeff, everyone sits there and bitches all the time. Like they never pay attention. If you want, like, Trump's owned by Israel control. Well, then why did we sign the biggest deal in that region with Saudi Arabia, not Israel? Why did we do that? Why was that the biggest single ally deal that we've ever struck? Why? Because the U.S. is always going to look out for its own interest. But people have to understand what Israel means to the region. Because of Israel, because of the Abraham Accord, because of all these other nations that are joining it, they just want peace. They want the rabble-rousers. They don't accept them in their country. You're not going to see anybody from Gaza gaining entry into Saudi Arabia, to Jordan. These countries want to function. They want to prosper. They're thinking about their future. They're thinking about how do they build for 15, 20 years out. They're not thinking about how can we live in swallow, in just like slums. They're not thinking like that at all. Leave it up to other countries to do that. Mark Smithson says Democrats lied, saying the Afghan refugees were properly vetted. Explain the vetting procedure. They got on planes and they came here because they were from. That was the vetting procedure.
Get on the plane. How to use a seatbelt.
Look at this, Jeff. Is this a friend of yours? This guy came to Florida. A Brit posted a photo of him holding a shotgun while on holiday in Florida, the United States. When he returned home, UK police arrested him, seized his devices, jailed him overnight for violating the 1986 Public Order Act. The process was the punishment. After sharing a photo of himself posing with a legally possessed shotgun at a Florida shooting range, a British man was arrested, locked in a cell overnight, interrogated, and lectured that he must understand how posts make people feel. Police seized the computer and the phone, wiping out his ability to work. Police, and weeks later, all charges were quietly dropped because they were baseless from the start. Critics say the ordeal proves that the UK has turned social media into a surveillance trap where innocent people are punished by process alone. And the other thing that he was in the United States, totally legal what he did. And there it is. There's the guy. John Rushlew Booth posted a picture of himself holding a shotgun at a Florida shooting range. Now, he needs a little bit of help, Jeff, with some with style there. That's not how you hold a rifle, right? You can tell this guy doesn't know how to shoot. He's holding it like he's terrified. Look at the way he's been holding his stock. It's like, okay, this guy's never shot a gun in his life. Okay, we'll cut him some slack, all right? But if you post this picture, you're not thinking this guy's like some marksman shooter, right? It probably, and he's like, I didn't see a proper place on his shoulder, but this is funny, Jeff. The poor guy posts this photo, and then his life gets destroyed.
Unreal. It's unreal. But there was another one I was watching, and the guy was swearing. There were, 3 police, and he had said something that it was all, you have, there was some, I don't know, Afghani or Paki or whatever that are offensive and assaulting women. And he had some commentary on it. So the police come over and they want to arrest him. And he goes, basically, he's like, fuck off, and they're like, oh, you can't say that. And he's like, what do you mean I can't say that? And they said, because we're in a neighborhood. There's families around. So you can't say that. Like what has happened over in the UK? It's the pussification of that culture. Like their police are, 1984, the surveillance state, but it's such a pussification of their culture. It's like, what is going on? What is going on over in the UK? What happened, to the footballers? I mean, where is the, it's as though, the men over there have lost all their testosterone. I just don't have any semblance of understanding as to why they're I mean, I do, but to get to this point, a big part of why they're so, they just capitulate is because of the monarch system, and they're so, they love being ruled over. They love the monarchy. They need to get rid of the monarchy. They need to put an end to that and say no more monarchy in the UK and go to a system of government to where they don't exist anymore. Because
Parliament's not the system.
Parliament's also broken, right? The Parliament's is bad, but holding on to even if it's just from a national recognition identifier, this whole thing, but it's holding them back. I think it's a net negative at this point, to where they have it. It just doesn't seem to be doing them well,
but
because of their mindset. Here's
the thing, Jeff. It's like free speech is a privilege over there. Here, it's enshrined in our Constitution. The right to bear arms. It's not a privilege. It's a right. You're born with this right. So the difference is that what you're God-given, what you're born with, these rights that are inalienable and that are enshrined in the Constitution, versus a parliamentary system where you just kind of make it up. You're like, and you don't really have any. I mean, you look at there's no constitution you'll go look at. Well, it says here section 3. No, you have to go back through logs of court cases and what the courts define, but you can change it at any time. Just making it up as you go along, more or less. So, God-given right, absolutely. And so, we're gonna go segment to our next thing, which is we're gonna give away these Yetis. Then I want to end it with 2 funny videos. I like to usually end it with something fun. We'll do that, guys. Type in Yeti. We got 11 in the drawing today. Here we go. Boom. Yeti.
Before we do the drawing, let's play the song one more time. Hang on. Here we go. Hang on.
The cold never scares us. We drink our coffee strong. Badassery in the bloodstream. Frost pumping all night long. The white tribe marches through the dark. Ass kickers at your side. Legends aren't born in silence. They're forged on a chain tonight. They ride from frost. The brave don't sleep. Even silence cracks when the mountains weep. Snow jumps back when their boots hit ground. Cold hearts thundering, ass kicker sound. The wind whispers their name. That burning warning flame. Fear breaks, runs wild, but it all ends the same. Yeti. 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 And Bill hilariously free. Ass kicker rise. Awaken that passion inside. Badass Yetis. Born of legends. Made for battle. Claim yours or be forgotten. Badass Yetis. On the chain. It's on the chain.
Say Yeti, guys. That's it. Yeti. There it is. Let's get ready to pull it. We've got 13 in here. Got some land for that SOB. There you go. Let's go. We got 15, guys. That's a pretty steady number. I'm going to go ahead, cue up the music, and I will pull it, Jeff.
Yeah, the music.
Pull it up. Then we'll go to our 1 minute timer. Look at that. AM 4518.
What is that?
I don't know. I don't
With
know.
M4518.
AM 4518 @ M4. So here we go. Let's start the timer. You got 1 minute. 1 minute to chime in here with, yes, I'm getting my Zomet wallet.
It's already rigged.
Or
Mark Smith.
Take a look out on YouTube to see if it's there.
One. There you
There
go.
you go.
Yeah, but what is for you? Who is
We don't know who you are. I don't know who won AM. Who are you, AM 4518? Who is it?
Address.
We don't know who it is. AM 45. This whole thing with the YouTube thing. I won last time. I don't know if you won last time. You won this time. Let's go.
This time. This time around.
Show Zaman wallet. Rete. Yeah. Yeti.
We go to the white tribe.
We don't know who this is. I recognize the let's see. Who is this? Slumping like my Steelers. Well, you better beat the Ravens next week, man. I was watching the game with one of my best buddies, and he's a lifelong Steeler fan, and so we were going back and forth.
Marriage.
That's 4518. Who's AM? Alex Cobb. Sure. That's AM. Check YouTube, Jeff. Make sure we don't have anything weird going on here.
Trying to get up to YouTube. The YouTube.
And I had another story about a teacher that was jailed because he wasn't down with the LGBT thing and said he wouldn't teach us. They threw him in jail. Now throw him in jail for the third time. Don't sit around and say either you're going to rise up and you're going to have a rebellion, you're going to have a revolution, or you're going to be conquered. That's your choices. Pick one and go with it because you don't have much else going on.
All right.
Kimchi Cobb.
M4518. M4518.
Let's see. Well, you getting your wallet there, man?
We're waiting for it.
Let's do it. All right. I'm going to play one of these videos here. This is over in the UK. Some babies had some things to say.
I was born in Britain, but this looks like India.
Nope, that's just Britain. Cheers, Labour.
Ben, what do you want to do when you grow up?
Get one GCSE and live on benefits.
Ben, how was your first week at home?
Not great. Mum's on benefits and my dad got taken by the police for racist tweets.
So, Ben, what do you think of your co-workers?
Don't know. Can't fucking understand them, mate.
Ben, what's happening?
All I said was I'm proud to be British.
Thanks a fucking lot, Labour.
Ben, what do you want for Christmas this year?
Labour out.
Labour out.
That's great.
That's awesome. Here.
All right.
Is that Eiswine? Are you the one? I don't know whose wallet is.
Who's M4158? I don't get it.
No.
How come we don't know?
If you're on two different devices, that could be the problem. Are you on two different devices? Maybe that's the issue. I don't know who 4516758 is.
M4518. Who is?
I don't know.
M4518. Eiswine is saying here, I'm here. But Eiswine, are you?
But this is Eiswine. Eiswine didn't win the thing. That's the whole point we're trying to make here. Eiswine didn't win. The winner is AM458. I'm going to have to pull it again.
M4518.
Because unless you're on two different devices like some other folks here are, then
Chad Nauseum. Is it Chad Nauseum?
I don't know.
Chad, was that you?
This is the winner. If that's yours, you need to come clean and you need to say, I'm here from AM4518. If you don't, we're going to
look at the, let's see. You know what? That might be Chad because his icons look exactly the same.
Let's see. Let me go up here in the thing.
Repost the address with some extra characters.
Chad, did you try to change it? Okay.
But this looks just like.
Trying to find Chad in the chat.
There's Chad. There's Chad's mentalist.
Did he try to change his thing or something? Because
it's not him. Oh, hang on. He's sending the address.
But who is that?
I don't remember. Don't know. It's a mystery.
Right. There you go. He's here.
Let
Okay,
us
so
know.
there you go.
He put the address above. Now I'm looking for the address because the address has not appeared yet on our side. All right, hang on a second. Let me go through the chat, top chat, live chat, all the different chats. It's definitely rigged. Oh, there it is. Okay, I found it. M45. Who are you originally? What was your name on here originally? I got it. Either way, I got it, and I'm going to transfer this bad boy over to M45.
That's all that matters. We don't have to hear the play-by-play. Please spare me the
Why did
play-by-play. We don't need to
go.
hear it. I'm going to play a
Play-by-play.
video while you're sending it to him.
It's the best part.
Destroys the show. It's the worst part of the whole
Best
entire
part,
show.
because this is the seamlessness of the XRPL.
We don't have to hear it. We just know that, hey, I sent it to you.
We're getting ready to send it.
We don't have to say that. We just said, you got it. Check your thing. We're good to go.
And we're thumbprinting it.
Nobody
And
needs to.
It's verifying. And it's going to be there in 2 seconds.
We don't
There
need
you
to say
go.
that.
You own it.
Okay, good.
M4518 now owns Badass Yeti number 980.
Okay, great. Nobody cares. Next. I'll tell you what somebody cares about is this next Christmas video from the UK.
Christmas
Everybody
tree.
wants a piece
Sorry,
of it.
that's offensive. We only sell evergreen trees now.
Oh, what a joke, this country.
Ben, what are you doing?
Changing the evergreen trees back to Christmas trees, how it should be. Merry Christmas, Ben.
That's offensive. You're not allowed to celebrate Christmas in Britain anymore.
What a joke. What's next, honestly? Ben, what are you wishing for Christmas this year? A new government.
There he is. He criticised Labour. Get him!
Santa, what are you getting us, Starmer, for Christmas?
A big lump of shit, that's what.
Ben, what do you want for Christmas?
Labour out.
Oh, me too.
Ben, why have you decorated your room for Christmas in November?
I don't believe in calendars. Merry Christmas to me.
Are you excited for Father Christmas?
No, Christmas is offensive and we need to respect the illegals.
My God.
It's getting too funny, Jeff.
It's too good.
Bunch of sneezes today, man. Hit the sneeze button again. Damn. Must be hay fever season. Thanks, amigos. You're welcome. Thank you.
And if you can put your
All
put your X handle in there, then we'll actually get that up there as well.
Yeah, we see your comments. I see them all over here. We definitely see them.
It is.
We need an offline producer. Great. Jump in. We had an offline producer for a little bit of time.
It's kind of cool.
Just used to help us and do stuff and added some videos and stuff for us. We did have that.
Notated. Ooh, the market just dumped from 208 to 207. It's down a penny. Jim D, yes, you missed the Yeti roll.
Yeah, but you didn't win though, so don't worry.
You know, we
won.
need a song called the Yeti roll. We'll make a song on it.
Yeah, we have AM 4518 one. So
Big winner.
You missed the roll, dude. But that's
big
okay.
winner.
Be back again on Wednesday. Wednesday. That's it. And tomorrow
And
the 1st of December.
it is the 1st of December. And when we get to December 10th, we are going to have Michael Carbonara on with us. He's running for U.S. House. He's running for Congress against Debbie Wasserman Schultz for District 25. I believe he might have a contender who's running as a Republican. So there may very well be a race before the race. We will soon find out, but it looks like he might have somebody trying to vying for that spot. But he is by far, has the best chance of beating Debbie Wasserman Schultz of anyone that we've seen run against her in quite a while. So It's going to be solid, and we're going to have him here with us December 10th, right here.
Absolutamente.
Okay. And then after that, we're going to try to get other solid candidates as well. So we'll roll that up.
We're working on that. Probably in the new year, we'll probably have some other cool interviews coming up. And that's all we have, guys. We will see you guys on the next one. Chip and Jeff out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.